big mistake that everyone makes is thinking that teaching somebody who's differently abled is going to be more difficult. It's going to be different, but not more difficult. I think you have to get to know the person first in the same way as you would with any child, and you need to build up a relationship. And that is about asking, how does the person communicate? How does the person listen and learn? And what does that person like and not like? And once you have those things in place, either by asking the person directly, asking that child, or asking the person supporting the child, then you're in a really good starting place. And then it is building up that relationship as you would with anybody else. It's knowing, I don't like loud noises, or I can't concentrate for long periods of time, or I need visual resources. So it's very much just another relationship. And sometimes it can feel more frightening because it's something you've not done before. I think the other important thing that every child is going to be different, every young person is going to be different, and it's not falling into that trap of thinking, oh, well, all people with autism are X, Y, or Z. It's understanding that person as an individual. They have their own likes and dislikes, and meeting that person where they are. I think some of the barriers are those preconceptions that people think, that the media may show somebody as having, who maybe is blind or they're deaf, and they think, right, well, that person, that is the stereotype. And actually, no, it's about reaching out to that person and saying, what do you like? What do you prefer? And unpacking that. Similarly, the terminology you use, lots of people prefer person first terminology. So it would be Alex, who uses a wheelchair, maybe. But a lot of the autistic community prefer Alex, who's autistic, because they very much see that as part of themselves. So it's saying to the person, is it okay to use that term? What do you prefer? And I think sometimes we're scared of offending people, but I don't think it's offensive if we ask questions and out of a place of kindness and curiosity. I think kindness is very important. I think you're not going to have anybody with a disability, in inverted commas, or any barriers to learning or communication, who is going to come into a faith formation class and think, I'm going to disrupt this. They're going to be there and they're going to be trying to learn, but sometimes it's just going to be too difficult because of the surroundings or what's going on, and it may be triggering, and they may just feel they need to run out, or they can't sit, and that's again of what was hard. What can we do to make this easier? It's like that learning process. And I think working with parents or guardians or people supporting is very important as well, to understand what works at home. How can we work together? It's not just down to the catechist, it's down to working with the family as well to make sure it's a safe environment. And if somebody's using something like Makaton or PEX cards and you don't know how to use Makaton, it's fine to say to a parent, could you come into the class? Can you show me Makaton? Can you translate? That's also fine. Other barriers can be that other people in the class may feel, they don't understand, this is strange, this is different, we don't know, this person isn't like us. And it's making those other children, if you are including the child in a class rather than individual catechesis, it's making those children aware, just because somebody's different doesn't mean they're less. It just means they're different. And we're all different. None of us are the same, but it's kind of saying, actually, no, that person may not be able to walk over to that chair, but do you know what? They're really good at doing X. They've learned this workaround. They are great at other things. We don't judge them by what we see or what you think they can't do. And there is no such thing as normal. And that can be the trap people fall into. They think there's a normal, there isn't. I think the other barriers you can have is things like sensory processing problems are a big barrier. So things like noise, bright lights, lots of distraction can be very difficult for some children. And some of the children who have the biggest issues are not the children who look as if they have the biggest issues. It's an invisible problem sometimes. So again, it is being aware that if a child seems to be distressed by something, unpacking it, you know, what's the problem? And it honestly is all about communication and thinking to yourself, I'm communicating, but if they're not receiving that message, I'm not communicating in the right way. How can they understand better? What can I do? How can we change this? And one day that child may be able to learn in one way, and another day they might not be able to. So it's again having lots of different things in your back pocket to think, well, if this doesn't work, would this work? And also sometimes if a child doesn't want to be part of a group and needs to be outside a group, that's fine as well.